I am Jackson Vilgren. This is my roommate Russell Roach. This is for the critical response exercise number 3. This is my first interview. Okay. Roach, for this exercise, I want you to imagine that you were going to teach a class of your peers, 18 to 22 years old, about the problem of racism in modern America. How would you do it?
Oh God.
And relax. I have some questions to make it more simple. So we know that racism is not just an individual level problem, but a systemic problem. How would you impart this information on others? How do you show them it's systemic and not an individual thing?
Well, you'd probably have to give them an example, because a lot of people, well, unfortunately, especially here, have not had to deal with, racism or systemic racism. So you could probably give an example or use somebody else's story.
Yeah. You believe that would be the most effective way to convey the message?
Yeah.
Okay. Every teacher has to make peace with the fact that they have a limited amount of time to teach a subject. That means making choices about what you talk about and what you don't talk about. What topics / stories / subjects should you prioritize and why?
Well, if we're talking about systemic racism, then definitely something having to do with that. Now, because there's like general racism that everyone knows, understands. But you would have to give them specific examples from I guess institutionalized, different examples from institutions that you would think are that are honorable or held to a high standard.
What medium are you using to engage your audience? For instance, are they watching something, listening to something? What are some specific examples of mediums you would use?
Well, me personally, I like talking more. I feel like it comes out better that way, because when you think about something before, of course you're supposed to give it some thought, but if you kind of speak while you're there, you can engage with the audience and change your message, while you're speaking.
Like with your inflection and your emotionality about it?
Yeah, your inflection, your emotion. Depending on how the crowd's responding, you can change what path you're going down.
Yeah. Kind of thing. So you can tailor the individual response to the audience.
Yeah.
I gotcha. In what ways would your choice about subject matter or presentation style change if instead of teaching 18 to 22-year-olds, if you were instead teaching a group of people who were 50 plus years old?
Ooh, that would be a lot harder, because I feel like a lot of them grew up with that. But you can still use institutionalized examples, but back then in something, I'm not going to use Instagram or something as a form as the institution that does racism.
Yeah, you just have to change your whole medium, because there's stuff they just can't understand.
Something that they would relate to, personally.
Yeah. Okay. That's all the questions I have. This is Jackson Vilgren and Russell Roach for the critical response exercise number 3. Thank you very much.